Oh look, see, when it's now it's steady red, that means it's broadcasting. Especially on the front.
So if it doesn't work the first time, you have to do it again?
Yeah, don't hold it too long. It's very sensitive to how long you hold the button. If you hold it down for 1 or 2 seconds, it doesn't work. Just like this.
Is this now wide angle or is it?
It's wide angle now.
Do you check the site to see if it's actually working?
Yeah, I will.
Let's see if it's really working.
So Santi, did you find the video? Okay. Together.
Yes.
Ajnanam timirandasya Jnanam janasalakaya Chaksurunmilitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tvadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Yam Pravarjantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virakatarvajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Benedos Tam Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vihinan Aparada Lakshayat Chaptasya Kamadi Tarangamari Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapadyam Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam. You found it? It's a video, right? Tavoivasmi Najivami Tambina Yiti Vikyaya Radhe Tam Nayamam Sharanantike. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotra Sat Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. And the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotra Sat Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and also, especially today, to Srila Bhakti Vedanta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Ballabh Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Dvaik Madhav Goswami Maharaj, and to our Param Gurudevs, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and all his divine associates, to all the assembled devotees. I know it's very crowded here today. I hope you're comfortable despite the closeness. So today we're going to hear about this divine day from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj and our Srila Gurudev. And we have a special presentation by Srila Bhakti Vedanta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj himself, because in 1966 he shared the giving of Harikatha with Srila Gurudev to an audience of Western and Indian devotees in 1996. Where was this Vedanta Sutra Prabhu? Vrindavan? And Parikram in Vrindavan. Beautiful. What? Were you there?
I think it might have been.
I was there, but I didn't go. I didn't know.
Varsana?
It's like Modi Bhavan. What is it?
Oh, Modi Bhavan in Varsana. Okay. So we'll speak until the video is ready, and then we'll switch to that. So today is Pujapad Trivakram Goswami Maharaj's appearance day. This is from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. He personally met all these personalities who he's glorifying, who we're reading about from his katha almost every day lately. Both the appearance and disappearance day of a Vaishnava is equally auspicious. This is because both days bring their remembrance, which is auspicious for us. It takes away, such remembrance takes away all obstacles in bhakti and gives all good fruits, all auspiciousness. What does auspiciousness mean? It means that we begin to prioritize our life, our mind, our bodily activities, our hearts in relation to pure bhakti. So when they reveal their glories through their actions, only then can we follow their appearance and disappearance days. Otherwise, we wouldn't know anything. Who can know them if they don't reveal themselves? Some Vaishnavas choose not to reveal themselves. They simply come and go. Once, Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti organized the parikrama at Sri Purushottama Dham, Jagannath Puri, during Purushottama Mas, which is the second most important and powerful month of the year. Why is it the second most important? Because Krishna is second most important to Sri Radha, whose month is Kartik. Under the guidance of Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj, it was led by Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj and Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Trivakram Goswami Maharaj. One day, their parikrama was going to the Tota Gopinath temple, and Srila Narayan Maharaj invited me to join. So there, at the Tota Gopinath temple, Srila Trivakram Maharaj spoke first. And in his Harikatha, he was lamenting. I have performed so many parikramas of Gaudamandala, Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan, for more than 50 years. But I never saw any improvement in my devotional service. And now I'm realizing it has no benefit. I've been going to temples for darshans for so many years now, but there has been no impact. I'm now realizing that our Purvacharya, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, in other words, is purely illusion to think that one attains spiritual merit by visiting places of pilgrimage. Now you can imagine how everybody felt after hearing that. Surprising, or shall I say shocking, katha. So all the brahmacharis became dejected and perhaps even mentally questioned the worth of the parikrama to begin with, which they were on at the moment. So if they were thinking that if someone as senior as Trivakram Maharaj, Srila Trivakram Maharaj, was saying that there's no value in performing parikrama, then what to speak of for them? So sensing this dejection, Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj urged me means Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to speak. I asked him how long I could speak, and he said, as the Parikrama party will be honoring Prasad here itself, you can speak as long as you want. You have nowhere else to go to get Prasadam. So after first glorifying Srila Trivikram Maharaj, I refuted his statement by saying, what Maharajji just said is apt from his point of consideration, and it is also the opinion of Narottam Das Thakur. But one has to consider for which level of advancement this is appropriate. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, then he quotes that verse where he says, I'm lower than the worm in the stool. I'm more sinful than Jagai and Madai, even lower than the worm in the stool. The pious activities of that person who hears my name is completely destroyed. Can you imagine? That person, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who manifested from his heart Chaitanya Charitamrita, because Madan Mohan, deity, was in his heart. First of all, he was asked by all the Vaishnavas. They conjointly wanted him to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita because Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur had mostly written about his youth up to sannyas, and there's just a drop about sannyas. And the whole sannyas lila was unknown to the world. So then he went to the Madan Mohan temple, where the garland fell from Madan Mohan's neck, and the Pujari brought it and put it on his own neck, and all the big prominent Vaishnavas called out Jai Jai. It's confirmed. So then, how did it happen? Madan Mohan Didi himself told Krishnadas Kaviraj, I'll write, I'll dictate, you write. And that's the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's the manifestation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Radha Govinda. And still he's saying, the pious activities of a person who hears my name is completely destroyed. Anyone who utters my name commits a sin. Who in this world but Nityananda could show mercy on such a vile person as me? And they're not just saying it to teach us how to be humble. They really feel it. At the same time, he teaches us. And then Srila Rupa Goswami, who is the foremost authority in the realm of bhakti, our Srila Prabhupada writes in the beginning, the introduction to his Nectar of Instruction, that Srila Rupa Goswami is the superintendent of the whole Krishna consciousness movement. And yet, he expressed similar sentiments to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And this is a quote from his Stavamala that Srila Maharaj quoted. Although I am a mine, like a mine, like a gold mine, of offenses, and although I cannot tell right from wrong, I still hope for your mercy. O Madhav, please be merciful unto me. So are Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Rupa Goswami, when they say that, is it true about them? If not, then can we really accept that he's a mine of offenses? And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is lower than Jagai and Madai? And anyone who utters his name commits an offense? No. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Rupa Goswami are speaking like this as a result of their natural humility, which arises from surrender. Humility, in fact, our Gurudev said that humility is synonymous with praying. That's when it really comes. Humility is directly proportional to the quality of the sadhu sangha one receives. Should I repeat that? Humility is directly proportional to the amount of sadhu sangha one receives. What does that mean? Samyak Samyak Rupena Anugamana. That means real sadhu sangha is following the sadhu by body, mind, and words, not just sitting in the same place.
Question.
Yes.
In the beginning you said the quality of satsanga, then you repeat yourself by saying amount of satsanga.
Okay, let me read that again. You're very perceptive. Let's try that again. It says quality. You're right. Quality means the amount of the quality. The amount in agamanam, in following all ways. Like Srila Bharati Maharaj gave an example that, what's his name, that really big millionaire in India? Billard? What's his name, that big multi-millionaire in India?
No idea.
So he, that big millionaire, multi-millionaire, he picked up Srila Maharaj to go somewhere. And Maharaj said, you know, you have drivers, and you personally came to pick me up? He said, oh, I'm not rich at all. So-and-so, he's rich. I guess he was a millionaire and he was pointing to that person who I just can't remember his name. He's rich. So when there's somebody so much greater than us and we're associating with him, that's when we can feel humility. Not when we're associating with those equal or less than us. And that's the reason that it depends on the quality of the sadhu sangha. The higher one's association, the deeper one's humility. Again, not just being with them physically, but samyak rupena. Rupena means in all forms, all ways and forms. Anugama. Samyak means all. Rupena. So these words are an expression of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's humility. Can we follow it in our lives? Or should we, upon hearing about such unprecedented humility, pray at his lotus feet, begging, "O Vaishnava Thakur, when will I also become so humble, having received such high association as you? Look at me, Syamarani Didi. Okay, is the TV on? Is the mic loud enough? Is it close up, or is it what do you call that, zoom lens, when it'll only be a little tiny thing on the screen? So when will I become so humble?
You meant Birla, right?
Continuing about Srila Trivikram Maharaj. So Pujapad Trivikram Maharaj is also expressing natural humility because he's always looking upwards towards his Guru Varga and feeling himself to be completely insignificant in comparison to them. Very, very important. Looking upward towards them. Gurudev was making fun of some of our Prabhupada's disciples. He said, one disciple said, oh, he has been to, talking about Prabhupada, he has been to 40-something countries. They're all descending from that Goloka Vrindavan. And what power do you have to go to the countries? The power is their power. Until now, Srila Maharaj is continuing. Until now, I have discussed Srila Trivikram Maharaj's glories. Now, let us consider our position. In the Bhagavatam, Ambarish Maharaj's precept, shows how he's engaged all of his senses in the service of Bhagavan. And Sukadeva Goswami has said, he engaged both his legs. Sukadeva speaking about Maharaj Ambrish. Engaged is we must engage our feet in walking to such places. Certainly we must serve Rishikesh. This is the way to gain victory over calm, material desires, or sense gratification. So the staunch follower of Srila Bhakti Narottam Das Thakur this is very interesting because Srila Trivikram Maharaj quoted Srila Narottam Das Thakur that it's a waste of time to go on parikrama, right? We just heard that. That's from Narottam Das Thakur, who Prabhupada said his songs are non-different from scripture. But what did he mean? Here, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining what Srila Narottam Das Thakur really meant. So we're so lucky to be coming in or on the waiting list to become part of the disciplic succession, coming into it. Standing on the shoreline, can't go in, but wanting to, waiting for the mercy. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has revealed the actual meaning. In so doing so, he has verified its harmony with the above verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Sukadeva Goswami, Pado Hare Shatra Padanusarpane, that one must engage his legs in walking to the holy places where Krishna has performed his pastimes. So, what is that verse? I think you sang it today in the Ekadasi song. Gaurayama Jesabastani Karalo Brahmanarage Sesabastana Eribami Pranaiva Tasamde. Excuse me. Singing. In the company of Pranaya Bhaktas, I will visit and behold the places where my Gaura joyfully visited. So in the association of the Lord's associates, that's where the power is. The true aim of performing parikrama is to attain progress in bhakti and to develop love and attachment for the places where Bhagavan performed his pastimes. This attachment is transmitted from the hearts of the pure devotees to the hearts of those who are with him. When I was with, Vasanti and I were with Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj in Chandigarh a few years ago. It was parikrama time, but we were in Chandigarh with him. So I asked him, so here we are with you in Chandigarh, it's not a holy place. So we get the same benefit as being in Vrindavan on parikrama? And then he quoted this verse to confirm. So wherever the pure devotee is, that's Vrindavan, or Navadvip, or Chaitra Mandala, Jagannath Puri. And anyone who's with him, Anugamana, it's transmitted, parikrama is transmitted from his heart to their heart. So attachment is transmitted from the hearts of the Pranaya Bhaktas, means the beloved, those who love Krishna and he loves, into the hearts of those who accept shelter at their lotus feet, Pranaya Bhaktas. It is only when parikrama is performed in this association, under such guidance, that it yields the highest benefit. So in this way I concluded my katha, Srila Maharaj is saying. Hearing my words, Pujapad Trivikram Maharaj looked at me and smiled approvingly. I don't know many details about his appearance, but I do know that he was fearless and never hesitated to preach against the opposition. He was free from all deceit. determining fast and festival days. Today we no longer see him in person, but even still, he has left his invaluable teachings and principles behind, which we can imbibe and get the ultimate benefit. This morning, Basanti was reading to me one of his lectures, which he gave when, Basanti?
96.
In 1996 also. And it was so marvelous. Basanti's going to summarize it for us, what she read. Can you come here?
No, can't come there.
Can you be there and do it?
I can just tell you and you can say.
All right.
No,
They need an actor.
no.
I'm sorry?
You tell it.
He said the basic essence,
Yes.
which he repeated over and over again, if we hadn't heard it the first, second, or third time, he said it in that lecture. He kept repeating, why is it that we don't really want to love Krishna? That we have no taste for Krishna consciousness. We have no taste for the holy name, even though we're chanting. And we're going through all the motions, aren't we? Hare Krishna, dancing, telling others, giving lectures, telling others. So why is it that we don't feel anything? It's basically because we're not experiencing anything to taste, to become attached to. Just like I see Bimala, and I really see her, at least I see her external form, and she cooks sometimes breakfast, and I appreciate that. And she hands me the glass of ginger lemon juice. And I hear her voice, her sweet voice. So I have affection for her. But when I chant Krishna's name, I don't hear Krishna's name. I don't see Krishna's form. I was just reading over in my memoir of Prabhupada, and there was a deity of Kartamashai. No, it was Madan Mohan Didi, the first deity, except for the Radha Krishna deity that Srila Gurudev sent to Prabhupada in 1967. So this was Madan Mohan, which some kind of like international importer gave to Prabhupada, and he asked me to paint him. So I read my sentence where it says, oh, he looked so handsome playing on his flute. So now reading that, so 50 years later, I'm thinking, I have no idea what his handsomeness looks like. And I have no idea what his playing his flute looks like. All I really see is black marble with some scratches in it, or some texture, some designs that marble has. So that's what Srila Trivikram Maharaj was saying, that we don't see him when we see the deity. We don't see him in a picture. We don't see him in our heart. We don't hear his holy name. And we don't taste his prasadam. What else is the sensory thing that we do? What other sensory? Glorify. We're speaking about him, but we're not speaking about him. And that's why we're not attracted, because there's no connection. If there was a connection, we'd immediately faint. Even when I presented Srila Gurudev the paintings, the big paintings of Rupa and Rati, Manjaris, was in Mathura. And Gurudev looked at them and he said, if you really would see them, you would faint. So that's the lamentable situation Srila Trivikram Maharaj. He said, if you surrender to those who are attracted, just like he's saying here, then by their mercy it will come down. Actually, Bhav Bhakti comes down. And in increments, when the pure devotee speaks, his Harikatha is Ladini Shakti and what, Vasanti? Samvit Shakti, coming in through his voice. So that's why he said, if somebody would walk out of his class, because they had to attend to something or other, he'd say, "You're losing so much." And that's why he said, those of you who got your ticket back at the end of the weekend and didn't stay for my last day, got your ticket back because you have to go to work the next day, those devotees are in the darkest region of ignorance. So one time he was giving a class and he said, "You have no idea how valuable these words are." He was giving a class on Prem Vivart by Jagadananda Pandit. And he said, if you have all the money in all the world, you can't buy a word or a sentence of what I'm saying.
Who said it?
Huh? Srila Gurudev was saying that back in the 90s. Well, Srila Tripakara Maharaj was saying, I was just confirming him. He was saying that if we surrender, take shelter, and serve those who are attracted, then and the mercy comes in, that Bhav Bhakti comes down by his Harikatha, and then ultimately when it fully comes, then we can actually experience Krishna's name, Krishna's form. Right now we're not experiencing anything but our own mind's conception of it. So powerful.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Like this experience or connection with Krishna, I've heard also analogy, it's like all this spiritual experience, starting with the form and seeing spiritual dimension and all this, it comes, I believe Bhamaraj gave this example one time. It comes like a train from far away. And first you just see the light, and there's nothing but the light, and you think, oh, it's light. And then it comes closer, closer, closer. And at some point you see the train is there, it has a form, there's people, there's so much going on. So he gives analogy in the same way, it comes closer, closer, closer.
Bhakti comes the same.
Yes, all of it.
Yeah, very good analogy.
It doesn't come like in one day, okay, I see it all.
Exactly.
It's
It doesn't go to from nothing to everything. It's a gradual process.
Yes, that's
good. Thank you. Okay, so are we ready for the video? Okay, Vasanti, we're ready. And then we'll discuss his glories from Srila Gurudev, which actually was given by Srila Gurudev on the actual day.
Krishna prema pradayati Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya namne Gaurati Sino Jayatam Sulatum Pangor Mama Mannamate Mati Matsarvasya Padam Bhojo Radha Manu আপনারা বৈষ্ণবদের মুখ থেকে এবং শাস্ত্র থেকে শুনেছেন এই নবদ্বীপ ধাম গুপ্ত বৃন্দাবন বৃন্দাবনের যাবতীয় সম্পদ যাবতীয় লীলাবিলাস যাবতীয় রস সমস্তই এই নবদ্বীপ ধামে বর্তমান পরন্তু অধিকারী ব্যক্তির নিকট সেই বাংলা में बोले अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
English?
তুমি তাড়াতাড়ি চলে এসো।
But when I listened to it, it was English.
Oh, maybe it's.
ওইরকম হতে পড়ে গেলেন একবারে। श्रीमान गोवर्धन क्षारास्थली का अपि अलम किंग रश्मि अनन्तस्थलै जस्यापि अंशलवेन नार्हत साम्नं मुकुन्दस्य तत् प्राणोभ्यधिक प्रियव तत्।
Wait, I think it's this one. Sorry. I think it was, that was Navadi.
Oh, okay.
This is from Navadi.
इसलिए इन सबसे शिक्षाएं लेकर के संसार से अनासक्त होकर के
I heard English though.
palm, which is true honor in Lord Krishna and Baladev. They used to enjoy this palm fruits. And Baladev and Krishna both requested to kill the demon and let them enjoy the fruits. So they came here and killed the demon, but Krishna did not kill. It is the duty of Baladev. Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana salakaya chakshurunmilitati. Ignorance is removed by Gurudev. Baladev and Gurudev are the same thing. So, this will be explained later on by Reverend Vaishnava. Thank you.
आज हम लोग बलदेव प्रभु की सच्चिदानंद
That was it. That's probably it.
Huh?
धाम में हम लोग आए। यह भूमि सच्चिदानंद में
That was
और बलदेव
That was it.
Okay. Is there anything else, Vedanta Sutra Prabhu? Just saying bits
It's in the
is
same
great.
year. They tried to
Yeah,
get
just
their
saying
own
bits
right
is great.
If I surrender to his beloved Surabhi, who is a near cow, but no,
They traveled.
Travel.
They went to Surabi.
because he disturbed the poor pastime. Totally disturbed the pastimes of Krishna. For which he was very much happy. And only means he found if I surrender, but if I surrender to his beloved Surabhi, who is a near cow, but no other alternative, I have to look for my rescue. So Devaraj of this world and a cow of the transcendental Golok Vrindavan is so different. The cow is so dear to and Gopis played in many kinds and many sorts of their pastime has been explained to you. I have no strength to put it again before you. Please hear it from Narayan Maharaj.
थोड़ा सा जूठन एक दो देखता हूँ मुझे पड़ा हुआ है कि नहीं, मैं चुन करके और ग्रहण करने की चेष्टा कर रहा है। ये सुरभि कौन थी जिसके पास में इंद्र देवताओं का राजा होकर, स्वर्ग का राजा होकर, और उस गैया को ले आया कृष्ण से क्षमा मांगने के लिए। उसको स्वयं साहस नहीं हुआ कि कृष्ण के पास में जाए। तो गैया कौन थी? ये गैया
রাজা, তোমার যুদ্ধ করবার পিপাসা কেন? মেয়েদের আঁচল ধরে অন্দরমহলে থাকো। যাও যাও, যত মেয়ের চিন্তায় বিভোর হয়ে আছো। কিন্তু যুদ্ধ
Maybe. That said it was not a big part of it. This is gonna be Hindi. Are you sure?
ऐसे बोलते थे, वो लोग को कोई वस्तु का जरूरत भी नहीं थी, कपड़ा का जरूरत नहीं था, नंबर खाने का भी जरूरत नहीं था, किसी का अभाव नहीं था। ऐसे जोर का प्रभाव से उनका सिचुएशन था। सड़क में जीप चल जाते थे, उसके तरफ भी चल जाते थे, जहाँ उनकी हुआ जाते थे। और देश में जो सुख है वही सुख में फर्स्ट भी नहीं जाते थे। हम लोग को यदि सड़क में तो भेजिए।
Everything else is looking like it's in Hindi.
Okay. Well, that was a nice association.
No. Let's see this.
Is it glory and purity?
Last try.
Last try, coming up.
জ্ঞানাঞ্জনশলাকয়া চক্ষুরুন্মিলিतं येन তস্मै শ্রীগুরবে নমঃ। বাঞ্ছাকল্পতরুভ্যশ্চ কৃপা সিন্ধুভ্যৈব চ পতিতানাং পাবনেভ্যো বৈষ্ণবেভ্যো নমো নমঃ। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगरायति। नमो महापदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिसे नमो। আমরা দুর্ভাগা হলেও অতীব ভাগ্যবান, তাই গুরু বৈষ্ণবের কৃপায় বলে এই ধাম পরিক্রমায় যোগদান করেছি। এই যে ধাম এবং এই তিনি আমাদের প্রতি কৃপা করুন। তার কৃপা ব্যতীত কখনোই আমরা এই ভক্তি রাজ্যে বিশেষ করে ঔদার্য লীলা বিগ্রহ শ্রীমন মহাপ্রভুর এই উদারতা সম্বন্ধে কিছু সুতরাং যদি তিনি না আসতেন আমাদের মতন নরকের কীট এই প্রকার প্রচেষ্টা থেকে চিরতরে বঞ্চিত থাকতো, এই কথা নিশ্চয়ই সত্য। সুতরাং তার অমর লেখনী যে গ্রন্থাদি সেইগুলি আমাদের জীবাত্ম এবং তিনি নিত্য তত্ত্ব, তিনি আমাদের অন্তরের ব্যথা উপলব্ধি করে আমাদের কৃপা করুন। এছাড়া আমার বিশেষ বক্তব্য কিছু নাই, আমার তত্ত্বজ্ঞানে সেরকম স্ফূর্তি পায় না। তিনি কৃপা করুন যাতে করে সেই সব বিষয়ে আমি অধিকারী হই। আপনারা বৈষ্ণবগণ শিবুক থেকে জ্ঞানকার মাত্র সেবন করুন বাঞ্ছা
Where was that? Wow.
Is that a Viraha?
Basically, he was,
Oh, this Guru maybe?
yeah, and he was praying for mercy from the old.
নানা
He was paying for
Praying for mercy.
it didn't
And,
see where it was.
Yeah, as Srila Bharati Maharaj always says, the language is irrelevant. If the heart is pure, then the transcendence comes in. This is our last try.
বাজায় বিনা রাধিকা রমন নামে চলে নারদ মুনি বাজায় বিনা রাধিকা রমন নামে নাময়মনি উদিতায় ভক্ত গীত স্বামী নাময়মনি উদিতায় কৃষ্ণ নাময়মনি উদিতায় ভক্ত গীত স্বামী নারদ মুনি বাজায় বিনা রাধিকা রমন নামে নারদ মুনি বাজায় বিনা রাধিকা রমন নামে অমিয় ধারা বরিছে ঘন শ্রবণ যুগলে গিয়া অমিয় ধারা বরিছে ঘন অমিয় ধারা বরিছে ঘন শ্রবণ যুগলে গিয়া অমিয় ধারা বরিছে ঘন ভক্ত গণ সঘনে নাচে ভরিয়া আপনা হিয়া ভক্ত গণ সঘনে নাচে ভরিয়া আপনা হিয়া ভক্ত গণ সঘনে নাচে ভরিয়া আপনা হিয়া নারদ মুনি বাজায় বিনা রাধিকা রমন নামে নারদ মুনি বাজায় বিনা রাধিকা রমন নামে।
So beautiful. So yeah, I think that's all the English, or that's all the, I mean, he's just singing, he's singing.
Okay.
But I believe he speaks in English after this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And this
He
one?
does?
Oh, yeah.
Manifest
As far as I remember, I've seen him.
মহাপুরুষতে চরণারবিন্দম यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुता शृण्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः the human beings, that this is the best of all the goods and the good things. all the devotions. Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Param Vijaya. And he remarked, it is suitable for all classes of devotees. From the worst to the best, it is suitable. And the best position can be had by this Sri Krishna Sankirtan only. Peacefully, easily, and most precisely. It will give the best position in the spiritual world. This Sri Krishna Sankirtan will give the best position in the world. By this chanting, by the kirtan, this kirtan of the name of Sri Krishna and the glories of Sri Krishna, we can possess the highest position. For the lowest devotees who are always thinking of the worldly pleasures, what is stated? Their mind is full of that thoughts, worldly pleasures. It should be removed first. For this reason, he uttered Cheta Darpana Marjana. This is to be done fast. Chitta Darpan should be rubbed, cleaned. First of all, it is necessary. By which process it will be cleaned? By this kirtan. Kirtan is enough, more than enough, to clean the chitta darpana, the mirror of my chitta, man, buddhi, ahankar, chitta. These are the four sections of mind. Chitta, it should be cleaned fast. Without cleaning this chitta, we cannot accept, we cannot understand, we cannot have the position to the highest plane, to attain the highest plane. It is not at all possible. We are thinking always for the pleasure of our senses. How the pleasure of the divine masters and how the pleasure of Lord Krishna and his consorts and the gopis and Srimati Radharani can be seen there? No. First of all, it should be cleaned. And by the process of Sri Krishna Sankirtan, he has, from beginning to end, explained it, but very carefully. Asrisya vapadaratam pinustumam adasnat marmahatam karutu va yatha tatha va vidadatu lamputu matprana nathasti saiva rapara. This is the conclusion. Who can attain this stage without cleaning his citta? First of all, it is necessary. But this Sankirtan will clean this citta. Okay?
No, it's fine. It's only 12 o'clock.
The only suitable and best process to clean, to get rid of these worldly thinking, worldly enjoyments, material enjoyments of our senses. When the prema, bhakti will be attainable, when the mind is engaged in material happiness, material pleasure, will it be possible in that mind we can understand anything of prema? So in this class, we should not try to understand that prema. It is useless in that position. But it is not prescribed. By the trial of possessing prema and thinking the situation and behavior of the praying devotees, we will get rid of, we will make our citta clean. It is not mentioned there. By the Krishna Sankirtan only. Cheto darpada marjanam bhavamaha davali nirvakanam. Secondly, it is uttered bhavamaha dav agni. Do you feel it is fire? Unless and until we feel it as a fire, why shall I try to get rid of it? हम लोग का जलन होता है, ऐसा हम लोग का मालूम है कोई का? हम लोग जल रहा है इस दुनिया में, जलता है, मर जाता है जलते जलते। ऐसे हम लोग का कोई तो मालूम है बहुत अच्छा है, रुपया है, पैसा है, मुकाम है, बहुत से खाना पीना का सुव्यवस्था है, तो कौन भगवान के लिए?
He said we're in a fire now. Unless you can experience that it's a fire, you won't want to get out. Right now we're thinking, I'm eating, I'm drinking, I have so much facility, money. It's good. Stay here. Is it over?
Well, no, but it's Hindi. He switched to Hindi.
Now he's switching to Hindi. Okay, Srila Trivakara Maharaj ki jai. So beautiful. Alright, so now I'm going to read from Srila Gurudev's lecture, which he gave on the very day of, gave this lecture not on the commemoration or anniversary of Srila Trivakara Maharaj's disappearance day, but on the day of it, when it just happened. So naturally there was a lot of emotion there. Can you fix the TV? Thanks. So this was mid-afternoon of November 7th, lower, just after Gurudev, his Brajmandal Parikrama, reached Varsana from Giri, higher? Oh, thanks. Giriraj Govardhan. So then the devotees heard the shocking news that Srila Trivikram Maharaj has just now left the world. So that very evening, in great bereavement, all the assembled devotees under the guidance of Srila Gurudev held a Viraha Mahotsav, meaning a separation festival. V means special. Raha means meeting. So separation, feelings of separation gives a special kind of meeting. And that's an utsav, when we can meet in our heart. So this is Srila Gurudev's separation katha. First he's offering his obeisances to his Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas and Gauranga. By the causeless mercy of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga, the first 15 days of our Niyam Seva, Kartik Vrat, that means Niyam Seva, Vrat means a vow to follow the parikrama schedule and the rules and regulations of the Kartik. So all these days have been passed.
Sorry, I was trying to close it.
Okay. It's nice to see him cry. It makes us cry that we can't cry. So the first 15 days have passed very happily, sweetly. Today, however, we received this very sad news. Then he's quoting Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai, of all kinds of distress, what's the most painful? And Ramananda Rai replied, separation feelings from a devotee of Krishna, that's the most painful type of distress. There's no more unbearable unhappiness. After the disappearance of Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, my Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, along with a few others, established the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, and our Prabhupada was one of the 3 signers of that. He was one of the founding members. Gurudev means his Gurudev, had already taken sannyas and had been preaching for a long time. But now he established the new Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti's headquarters in Navadvip and began preaching through the Samiti. As Krishna is Bhakti Vatsala, very affectionate to his devotees, so Sri Guru is also Shishya Vatsalya, which means very affectionate to his disciples. So after some time, some of Guru Maharaj's godbrothers saw that his Shishya Vatsalya, his affection for his disciples, seemed more than his affection for them. And they couldn't figure out how to reconcile this. Because previously, they had been the greatest objects of his affection. So Param Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, he's saying, his Guru Maharaj had 3 pillars of devotion, 3 prominent sevaks. That is, Srila Vaman Maharaj, Srila Trivikram Maharaj, and I began to serve him totally, ready to risk our lives. He used the Indian expression, ready, taking our lives in our hands, meaning ready to risk our lives. At that time, After Vaman Maharaj especially served, Srila Vaman Maharaj especially served Srila Guru Maharaj in so many ways. He was the publisher of the Gaudiya Patrik and many other literatures. He was also the scribe for Guru Maharaj's dictations, for all of his correspondence and his articles and books. Even before I joined, when I was still a police officer and had never personally met Guru Maharaj, he would write to me with great love and affection. He would dictate his letters addressing me as Tiwari, because I came from a very high-class Brahmana family, which means Tiwari in what language, Dina Bandhu? Tiwari means high-class Brahmana in what language? Whatever section of India he was from. Bihar. And Srila Vaman Maharaj was like the mother of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. He took care of everyone in the mutt and supplied whatever anyone needed, like prasadam, clothing, and so on. As for Srila Trivikram Maharaj, he was very, very qualified. Our Guru Maharaj was in charge of publications, and he put Srila Trivikram Maharaj in charge of organizing all the preaching. And his services included sending other preachers to different places, to various districts of Bengal. And he would also personally go out collecting and preaching, especially in the district of Bardwan, which is near Calcutta. So when I first joined, Srila Trivikram Maharaj showed me even more familial affection than Srila Vaman Maharaj did. Our Guru Maharaj placed me in his hands, and we became very close. It was he who taught me how to perform kirtan, you could see by his singing. Even though, he was elderly and his voice wasn't probably the way it was when he was young, you could hear, if you listened for the subtleties of his voice, how he hit all those subtle alaps, or lap meaning like so many notes in a word, for one word. So he taught me how to do kirtan, he taught me how to preach, and to collect donations. I never knew that before today. I read it, I heard it, I edited it, but it didn't hit me until now. Everything has its time. Sometimes, in a very loving way, he would also rebuke me. In all the years that I spent with Guru Maharaj, I was never rebuked by him. But with so much love and affection, Srila Trivikram Maharaj would rebuke me. We had such a close connection that sometimes our discussions would become very heated. I would counter his arguments and he would counter mine. And Guru Maharaj would kindly support me, taking my side. What time shall we stop, Indupati Prabhu?
Another half hour before Arti.
There's a half hour before Arti, so that means 15 minutes before Guru Puja. Okay. Srila Trivikram Maharaj used to preach all over India. And when he would go to preach with our Guru Maharaj, I would go with them as Guru Maharaj's seva, like Sri Padmata Maharaj. I would massage him, cook for him. When there was no electricity, and perform many other services. Sometimes I made mistakes, and at those times, Srila Trivikram Maharaj would protect me. And now you're going to hear how he protected him. For some time, it was a regular procedure that in each and every village, along with his lectures, Guru Maharaj would show a slideshow depicting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and other great personalities. So I once forgot to bring the slide projector. And when I realized this, I was in great anxiety that Gurudev would be upset with me. So Srila Trivakara Maharaj asked me what was wrong, and then when I told him, he said, "Don't worry, I'll handle the matter. I'll take care of everything." Later on, when our Guru Maharaj was ready to give his lecture and slideshow presentation, he asked Srila Trivakara Maharaj, "So is everything ready?" And Trivakara Maharaj replied, "Oh, today it's such a cloudy day. Maybe it will rain. So rather than have the whole thing shut down and get wet, let's not have the slide presentation today. Just give class." And Guru Maharaj was satisfied with that. Years later, Srila Trivakara Maharaj reminded me of this incident and asked me if I remembered it. "Yes," I said, and we happily and tightly embraced each other. So Guru Maharaj, that is Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, entered Nichalila in October of 1968. I remember our Prabhupada sent a bereavement letter, which he had all of the devotees sign in his then 3 centers, New York, Seattle, and San Francisco. We all had to sign a letter of bereavement. That's when he glorified him, and he wrote that prayer to him. That is, he made me taste renunciation, which I wasn't ready to do. So externally, Trivakara Maharaj took the place of my Gurudev in the sense that he encouraged me in all activities. Can somebody come up here and read this? My voice isn't working anymore. Can you make the TV go higher and then you can stand and read unless you want to sit on my lap? Can you raise that? Are you going to sit here? Okay, here. Where are you? We are over here. I began preaching.
When I began preaching in the West and writing and translating books there, I would write to Param Pujapad Srila Vaman Maharaj, Srila Trivakara Maharaj, Srila Paryataka Maharaj, and others for advice, because they are all very qualified preachers. Srila Trivakara Maharaj would reply my letters without delay. He would encourage me and inspire me to write more books and to preach all over the world. Pujapad Vaman Maharaj is the present Acharya of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, and he was very busy with many grave responsibilities. He was always very happy with my preaching, but sometimes he was sick and therefore he could not always answer my letters. Pujapad Trivakara Maharaj, on the other hand, usually remained in one place and he always replied without delay. I cannot forget him. I consider both Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj and Bhaktivedanta Trivakara Maharaj to be my Shiksha Gurus. They supported, nourished, and inspired me so much so that I cannot express my feelings in words. But Pujapad Trivakara Maharaj's familial love for me was even greater than that of Pujapad Vaman Maharaj. We used to sleep together, quarrel together over philosophy, and we loved each other in so many ways. Sometimes we presented different ideas when we countered each other's arguments, but he greatly honored me. Although I was giving honor to him as a Shiksha Guru, sometimes in his last days, he used to offer me sastang pranam. He even used to offer pranams to my sandals when I was not present before him. Wow. No one else could have done this. He was so polite and humble. He was a senior Vaishnava in all respects, and he could help the entire world. But he used to write me, "We cannot do the services you are doing for Gurudev. So I especially favor you and praise you. May you preach for a long time. May you write and publish many books." We have lost one of the pillars of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti today, but I feel some relief knowing that he left during this Kartik month during Niyam Seva Vrat, and that he was in Navadut Dham. Also, he left at the time of Amrita Yoga, an auspicious time of the day according to the movement of the sun and moon. And it was also Tritiya Titi, one of the most auspicious days of the month. He inspired us to observe Anakut Mahotsav, Deepavali, and Vatri Dvitiya. Yamaraj and Jamuna Devi, Yamaraj and Jamuna Devi are brother and sister. Jamuna Devi was upset that so many conditioned souls were being punished by her brother and sent to hell. Desiring to help those souls, she told him, I want people to have an opportunity to become free from your punishments. Yamaraj replied, I am therefore giving a boon that anyone who takes actions. Oh my gosh, this part's so amazing. Internally in my heart, Srila Kamaraj told me that he would leave this world after we observed those festivals. It was a wonderful thing. Otherwise, if he had left before, we would have been absorbed in thoughts and activities in relation to him, and we would not have been able to properly observe those important holy functions. That's so incredible. Now, being the representative of you all, I am offering my heartfelt Pushpanjali at his lotus feet. I think that he has been placed in Samadhi today. Where is he now? He will be in Navadvip Dham or Braj Dham. He was always especially inclined towards Mahaprabhu and Navadvip Dham, and therefore I think that he is there. I pray for all of us that he will be very merciful to me and to all of you, and that he will inspire us and give us blessings so that we can try to serve Gurudev and do bhajan as he did. Param Pujapad Sri Kamaraj Ki Jai.
Are there any questions? Would anybody like these two transcriptions of Srila Bharati Maharaj and Srila Gurudev? Okay, because you were also not here when we did this part. Anybody want Gurudev's? I saw your hand. Where's the first page? You get a free, yes.
Do what?
Are there any questions? Or,
Yesterday, did I hear Maharaj say that it's not the devotee who will clean us, it's Sankirtan? That's what it said in the verse? Is that what he was saying?
oh well, of course my senses are imperfect, but what I thought I heard him say is that not just by thinking of Krishna will our chitta, or you could say heart, be cleansed. But in all the scriptures it says, Harinama, 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 Eva Kevalam. Kalo Nasti Eva, there's no other means, no other means, no other means for God realization. So when we do think of them, like our Gurudev often encourages us to think of Krishna's pastimes, prayers, qualities while we're chanting or any time. We're not really thinking of them. We're thinking of our mundane interpretation of them. But we are collecting sukritis and sanskars. But especially, plus, since he said do it, we're also, it's like a Guru Seva. But the Nam is the prescribed remedy. By Nam, the name comes in our heart. And then after that, the form, and then the qualities, pastimes and associates, gradually one after another, in a real way, not that I look at the deity and see marble, but the real thing comes. So the real means is Nam. That's why, like I hear Gurudev's classes all the time, when I'm taking prasadam and doing other things. And he keeps saying over and over again, therefore, he said, 16 rounds, that is nothing. You are thinking, I have done 16 rounds. That is nothing. He said, at least 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. Once he said, if you don't do 25 minimum, because I'm so busy with my preaching center, then better to throw your preaching center in the ocean. And better you jump in the ocean. so that in your next life you have another opportunity. So does that answer it?
Can I ask us one question?
Yes.
In my Sri Kumarji was pointing out about cleansing the chitta. Yes, he emphasized this on a lot. Before we can do anything, we should cleanse our chitta again and again. And he said that anything else would be really useless to contemplate on. But then at the same time, our Buddha says in Benugi, the way to cleanse the chitta is through contemplating on this passage. So it seemed to be in a contradiction in my mind. Maybe not a contradiction, maybe they're also turning both points are correct.
Is that what their arguments were about?
I'm sorry?
It was that about some of their arguments here today and Raj were along these lines.
Oh.
Not argument, but
joking arguments.
Yeah,
Alright, so the question is from Haladar Prabhu that we hear that just concentrate on the name, nothing else will be so powerful. And at the same time we hear from Gurudev that think about Krishna's pastimes, qualities and so on, and that will cleanse you. He's quoting Gurudev's Venugi. And then Vedanta Sutra Prabhu said, this topic is one of the joking arguments of Srila Gurudeva and Srila Trivikram Maharaj. So the question is how to reconcile this.
Yes.
So, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, because as Srila Trivikram Maharaj said, our consciousness is always absorbed in money matters. And sometimes Gurudev also makes fun of us, money matter. Where is money? So, therefore, by thinking of Krishna's pastimes, qualities, prayers, like in the songbook, and in our songbook, and in, say, Narottam Das Thakur's prayers for service, or Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's Bhalat Kusmanjali's prayers for direct service to Srimati Radhika, we get, number one, we're free from those negative thoughts, which are offenses to the holy name. And by offenses to the holy name, one can chant the holy name for hundreds of births and not get the benefit, or thousands. So we pick up Sukritis by imagining that I'm thinking of them based on what I've heard. Not, I'm imagining that Krishna is a different color than blue. But I heard that he's blue, I read that he's blue, so I think of him as blue. But I'm just thinking of him as my blue. The blue that I'm, like a blue balloon, or something like that. The balloon is blue and Krishna is blue. The cloud is blackish blue and Krishna is blackish blue. But there's no comparison, Gurudev often explained, between the cloud, or Krishna's face is as beautiful as the moon. There's no comparison between the brilliance of Krishna's face and the moon. But it's to get us started. So think about Krishna's pastimes, think about his qualities, utter the prayers, sing the prayers. And then, I was just hearing Gurudev say today, how will Krishnas and the Vaishnavas, nothing will happen until their heart melts by your endeavor. When their heart melts, then from their hearts, the reality of Krishna will descend. Just like Mother Yasoda was endeavoring so hard that I'll fast until my son is bound. And it was out of love. So his heart melted and then he allowed her to bind him. So it's not by our endeavor. Think of Krishna, and then just by doing that, it'll come. But by our endeavor and prayers, and he said weeping, then when the Vaishnavas and Krishna's weeping, Krishna's heart melts following the Vaishnavas and Guru's heart. Krishna's mercy is dependent on Guru's mercy. So when their heart is melted, then the thing comes. And when our chanting is imbued with that, O Nam, I can't hear you. Please be merciful, even though I'm so wretched and fallen. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur Gurudev quoted, or Srila Maharaj quoted, that even though I'm so fallen and more fallen than the worm in the stool, still, please, I'm asking for your mercy. So when they see us weeping like that, externally, internally, then they'll be pleased to grant real understanding. It's not an ascending process, it's a deep ascending. If I think of Krishna 10 times today, or then I'll increase to 15, I'll say 20 prayers. It doesn't work ascending, it's a descending. Does that kind of reconcile it? Okay. Yes, Vedanta Sutra Prabhu?
I've been meaning to bring this up because, since you mentioned Mother Yasoda and the whole topic, in Braha, Maharaj is a disciple of Brahman Maharaj, and I don't know his relationship with Gurudev, how, it was bona fide, and this month he mentioned something. But I had this discussion with a few devotees about, in his Parikram book, he says that Srimati Radhika handed Mother Yasoda after all this, and the different her associates were bringing different ropes so she could try to bind Krishna, and it didn't work. And finally, that the baby, little Radhika gave, passed up a rope that eventually got to Mother Yasoda, and that was the rope that he used to bind Krishna. But I haven't found that in any scripture.
Okay, I'm not going to repeat your question.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to repeat the name of the person that you quoted.
And that's why I don't know if it's, but I was asking because it may have come from Brahman Maharaj, because this is tribute from Maharaj's appearance.
Because it was spoken by that person that you mentioned, who is a disciple of Srila Brahman Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, who got so much mercy from Srila Gurudev. And then he rejected Srila Gurudev and took sannyas from someone who tried to kick Gurudev out of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. Therefore, I'm neither going to repeat your question nor what that person said, but I did answer you in that way. So go from the Maggie.
So you're saying it didn't come from a bona fide source?
I can't say that. All I can say is, because that person said it, I'm not going to repeat it. And right now, I'll just accept what Gurudev said, that because of Mother Yasoda's love, she was able to bind Krishna finally by the ribbon in her hair. Whether that other thing happened or not, it will come to us later from a bona fide source, but I'm not going to repeat that person. Who told me personally that Gurudev never got, what is that, when you get perfect, pranali? He said, Srila Brahman Maharaj got Siddha Pranali and Srila Trivikram Maharaj got, but Gurudev didn't. So, forget it.
Let's not repeat it here.
Let's not go there.
I won't accept that. It's not here.
Okay, thank you.
Over
Okay, I think it's time, according to our fearless leader, Indupati Prabhu. It is time for Guru Puja.
I'm neither fearless nor a leader.
Are you lower than the worm in the stool and won't fall in the Jagani Mara? Will I get sins by saying your name? Will I lose all my piety?
Worse than that.
Can you drink her that? Before you go to
Okay, you're right. I'll sing this one. Or you want to sing the whole thing?
Huh? You want to sing Jai Radha?
Which one do you want?
Oh, what? We're doing Pushpanjali, so then what? Should we go to Charana Padma or Thakur Vaishnava Pada? Probably that one. I think everyone needs songbooks for that. I know I do.
Yeah?
All I know is that he's not our Gurudev. But I know that when Sheshai Prabhu sang Gurudev's Vyasa Puja in Mathurama, guess what he's saying? Thakur Vaishnava Pana, because it's not his Guru.
This one, Vaishnava Thakur.
Huh?
28.
Thakur Vaishnava Pada.
Which one?
It's a different one.
It's called Thakur Vaishnava Pada.
What number?
Page 30. No, 38.
30 what?
8.
Thakur Vaishnava Thakur.
Thakur Vaishnava Pada. I don't want to do it. Like money thing is okay? Oh, well that's bigger. Oh yeah? Okay, here we go. Thakur Vaishnava Pada Bendira Susampara Sunabhaya Hoya Hoya Kamona
Purane Jaya Samati Nandana Samati Nandana Brajavarana Yasamati Nandana Brajavarana Shri Guru Karama